senior. He said yesterday that he's going to need a little bit of time to acclimatise, but he's passing the ball around like that, saving certain goals with blocks in front of talented forwards. He seems to have acclimatised quite well, despite the snow. A bit of room for Liam Miller. He's got beyond Caicedo and he sent the ball out to Ryan Giles. He's getting men back and blocking up the channels, but again, that speed in attack, a little bit of an issue for Chelsea.
Certainly looking direct to hit those areas, Hull, when they win the ball back, knowing that Chelsea will just venture forward and take risk, commit bodies forward. Great challenge from Louis Coyle and Garnacho. But interesting to see Sarr play. Obviously, has been impressive. I mean, that's not bad, is it? Just dropped over the head of McCarthy, and his mate should have done him a favour and put the ball in the back of the net.
This is Andre Santos. Caicedo looking for that ball down there. Down south to Garnacho again. Put away by Louis Coyle to sign a new contract at Hull City. Neto. Slater doing very well to get beyond Neto. And they're having a little bit of afters with him, and the referee, who is Maria Lamb tonight, just having a word with the both of them.
So competitive. There's no let up or hope in the faces of these Chelsea players, and to be fair, they've been up for the battle.
Referee is the one that made the headlines in his Premier League debut for Ryan Halal. He chose to stick with his original on-field decision of no penalty for Manchester City.
What is it in Feb? Well, in Feb, snowing.
By his VAR colleague Darren England.
Let me see. Do we have any outside?
He's a former league footballer.
Yeah, that's why he's naturally a very good ref as well. He completely understands the game, understands players.
My guy that refused to go into the monitors to check VAR is the one
Portsmouth, I think, in the last round when he took
on the job tonight.
Against Arsenal.
He doesn't tend to fall for any of the nonsense.
Garnacho. Esteban. Down by McCarthy.
These fans here absolutely love it. Trying to Hull City again. It's a little bit treacherous the last couple of seasons with them.
Oh, it's a goal from Liam Delap. Well, has he come back out? The referee hasn't given it yet.
What?
Did it go over the line or not? He thought it had. He gave it up, and then the second time, he didn't convert it.
I can't believe that.
That came from nowhere.
Wow.
Well, he seemed to be certain that it went over, but
it hit the post.
obviously the referee decided it didn't.
It came back out, but it looks like it went in. Oh my days, Delap, unlucky. But he should have finished the second one, the rebound. Yo, the snow is heavy.
Technology. We'll have a look at it in just a second after we've seen Delap try to.
Oh, he's gone down. Yes, my brother. I was about to message you, you know. Yo, did you see that? That Delap miss.
What an odd moment that was. It was a little bit of sloppiness actually from the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
oh my days.
And everything stopped, including Delap.
He thought the ball went in, he stopped.
A goal, but
and then the ball bounced out. Yeah, man. Even the rebound, I did not bury that.
Into Andre Santos, who was a little bit over physical. The referee has given the free
so,
kick.
yo, this ref, I like this ref, man. This ref, one of Pep's favorite ref. Remember when he refused to go to the monitors? Wow. Look at it again.
It looks like had the ball and up next.
Oh, it's on the line.
Really tight. And obviously Delap is a
He didn't cross. He didn't fully cross the line.
Yeah, that's just gone in.
Oh my gosh, unlucky.
Watch from there.
Yeah, he didn't cross fully.
Like it may have gone over. But if you see the assistant,
He didn't cross. He didn't fully cross.
It looked like it was in.
he did, and then they did so well to defend against it after that.
Wow. Yo, look at the snow. Look at me. Look at the snow. Half-time snow. Ooh. Yo, it's a good game, yeah. It's a good game. Also, they're giving you a goal. No, they're not pushovers, man. They're giving you a goal, a serious goal. Yo, this ref, I love this ref, man. It's like, get up, man. Yo, they're giving a serious goal. End-to-end stuff. I mean, the owner said he doesn't care about clean sheets. You know, he wants team to score, and they go and score. They want the back and forth. Can you hear me clearly, mate?
Majority of the control, Chelsea, and majority of possession, but haven't had it all their own way. Hull feel that they're right in this game.
Yes, can I say that? Slamming through to Neto. Now James.
Ooh.
That's into the gloves of Phillips.
Good cross, good cross.
Well, I'm told there is goal line technology. Initially, we thought that that wasn't the case, but this is
Oh, yeah.
goal line technology.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't go over the line, Lucy.
Didn't go over the line.
Okay, fair enough. And
Yeah. All City, yeah.
Around and having a look at the referee, expecting the watch to buzz. It didn't, and rightly so. It didn't.
Good job there is goal line
Did
technology.
he, as a manager, did he beat City?
Get people in trouble.
I thought it was me.
Away by McNair. Comes on to Delap, tries to feed it forward. I say, this is James.
Oh, so he's won it. What's going on with my cameraman? Yeah.
Chelsea have had one stopped by the goalkeeper.
Ooh.
Phillips, one cleared off the line.
You have to say though, Sam.
Yeah, Liam, yeah.
The chances for Esteban and the chance for Delap should have
Wow.
been away. Particularly Delap's. That's what happens. We'll end up with more attempts, but less on target.
Yo, my camera is doing my head in.
It's probably the clearest
Oh yeah.
we've had so far tonight. Chance from Esteban that went over the top of the crossbar. It was a surprise Garnacho. Big one saved early on. Delap was on the bar after the clearance from Dylan Phillips.
He keeps zooming in. Right.
Conditions causing all sorts of hazards,
Good.
and one of those that we haven't seen.
Oh
yet
my
because
God,
that's
comes
the thing with
back.
passes, not because they're getting steamed up, affected by the snow.
Does that mean he doesn't really need them? Like you.
Twice now.
Like you.
Like to
Yeah.
construct. One more and you're out.
Still my head in. It's just zoomed in fully.
One weekend.
My camera is zooming at you, but what's going on with my camera? It just fully zoomed in.
All the chances, we nearly hit the half-hour mark, and Chelsea haven't made the breakthrough yet. We won't get frustrated about that just yet, but the longer the evening goes on, Liam Racine certainly will. Hirakawa. This is deep towards Liam Miller. He's going to run through to Ryan Giles.
Oh my days, too many.
His way through. Caicedo will block him. Esteban will bring it down. Liam Miller does. Caicedo intercepts. Now Esteban has got it. Delap makes a run through the middle. It's good work again. Sun for Ziemetovic.
Done well in that central midfield area. Ziemetovic and Slater combative and pass forward.
Slater looking for Kumas. Sugar outpaces Wesley Fofana, who does well enough. And he's fouled by Kumas, and the referee gave a free kick before Kumas could get the shot away.
This could be any score, couldn't it? I mean, Chelsea should really have 2 goals all themselves and got into good situations. It's a good game to watch so far.
They've got a threat, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and that just keeps Chelsea honest, because it means that they can't just commit a lot of bodies forward. They have to be thinking, well, we know what Hull are going to do when they win it back. We know they've got the strong runners.
Caicedo. Gerald Harto. So a lot of possession, but in those moments where they turn the ball over, very speedy in transition, Hull City.
That's better. You know, keep zooming in, like. Imagine they knock him out.
Caicedo. Garnacho. Again trying to take on Louis Cole, getting across into the box towards Liam Delap, and then cross comes John Egan.
So basically, when they haven't got it Hull, they sort of block that central area out 5-2-3. They're quite happy for Chelsea to have it wide, and when they do get it wide, then the wing backs will go out. They'll double up with a wide forward as well, and just try and stop the cross.
Well, it's fun and games in the snow and ice, and if that's your thing, well, good news. Olympic Winter Games action is already underway over on TNT Sports 2 right now, and you can follow every single moment from Milano Cortina throughout the course of the games. All your favourite Team GB stars, Discovery Plus and TNT Sports, and 850 hours of live coverage. Snowsuits up here, couldn't we?
It's been warmer. All welcome, more than welcome.
It's an experience for Amadou Sarr. He's playing in Ligue 1 with Strasbourg up until the turn of the year.
He's made a good start. He looks settled already, looks close on the ball. We've seen him defensively as well.
Back in from Ryan Giles. He was up there again. Again, Delap didn't quite get contact the way he had imagined.
Chelsea are struggling with these guys. What's going on?
That far side from Harto, because otherwise the ball was running through into the path of Liam Miller.
Well, Harto and Sarr together.
He's playing a full team as well. A team full of internationals there. Team full of internationals, mate. They're struggling against Hull. I know Hull City are making it tough for them.
They've
they're not pushover. But these are a bunch of like.
So impressive against Leeds and they pass the ball about.
Oh. He's probably on the bench, but still, even without Palmer, they can't be relying on Palmer just to save them. You know, games like this are made for Garnacho. He needs to turn up. Neto, Garnacho. Look at that. They're wasting the way. Garnacho is not really doing much. The midfield looks like it's regular midfield. I know Fernandez is probably on the bench. But Caicedo is there. It's not letting Garnacho play on that side.
They're very quick to get up and support the attack. And Hull win the ball. Garnacho trying to get in front of Louis Coyle, who read the situation well. Hull City have read the situation well so far.
Yeah, what you think of Jim Ratcliffe's controversial comment he made? There's a whole banner outside Old Trafford now, calling him out. Oh my days! What do you think of that?
Goal in the other game tonight already. Wrexham 1-0 up in their match on the Discovery Plus app over Ipswich Town. Familiar name, Josh Windass, scoring for Wrexham. All fans remember his dad Dean, the big star.
Oh, Dean Windass, man. Dean Windass' son just scored. What a player that was. We love Dean Windass, bro. Wrexham scored against Ipswich.
Great structure defensively from Hull. Just stopping any sort of space.
Rest in peace to Dean Windass, bro. Oh my days, we'll be proud of his son here. Just bang one in the FA Cup as well. Dino was really good playing these games, these FA Cup games.
The way that Hull want to play, they'll let Chelsea have possession, but a lot of the Chelsea passes have not hurt.
Oh, he was just being political. Yeah, man. He just made I don't know, like a political statement. Like, I think I don't know if the government is rejected, refused to give him the funding for Old Trafford, for the new stadium. So I think he just threw his choice out of the pram. He made a controversial statement about. Here we go. So he just made him. I mean, I'm not gonna say a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's Jim Ratcliffe, bro. The guy, we know what he's all about. Some of us. But he says something along the lines: Britain has been colonized by immigrants. I was like, whoa.
He's starting to settle in. Chelsea, Jarell Hato, after a difficult start. He's only a teenager.
Absolutely unnecessary. But you know what pisses me off more? The fact that we were starting to enjoy football at the Manchester again. Both sides, the blue and the red side, they enjoy their football and they see they're winning now. United are back to winning ways. And this man just came out with that bloody nonsense.
Now 5 points off the top 5. He's very clear.
It's like, nah.
The players, the communications. It's black and white. He's experienced with his assistant managers as well, Marco Salatovic and Dean Holden, who I think was
But yeah, they've put out a massive banner outside Old Trafford, man.
He squared up to him on the touchline in Turkey last year when they were both coaching that division. He's a very well-known EFL figure, Dean Holden, good playing career as manager at Bristol City and Charlton most recently.
I think what was missing last season was a bit of confidence and personality. Kurovic has certainly brought that to the City.
Caicedo. Taken on now
Yes,
by
really struggling.
Miller. Pinched by Reece James.
Man, he just made it worse, brother. He just made it worse for.
Moment.
And now they're saying investors are worried. You know, people trying to invest. They worry if that's what he's thinking, if that's his mentality of what he's thinking, because the club is built on global brand.
Garnacho in the play. Delap has gone wandering into the centre. It's away by John Egan.
United is built on, you know,
A bit more precise.
Yeah.
world tours, going on world tours, Asia, America.
Happy to head it and kick it as the ball's put
You
into
know,
the
the
box.
fan base is massive around the world.
Chelsea just need to be more clinical. I mean, it's
And he came out with that. Like, oh my
recent
days. I was
patch
like,
for them.
brother, you don't even know the club. Do you know the club you actually bought? You know, or you owner,
João Pedro on the bench tonight.
right?
Brilliant
You don't know
form.
the club.
Liam Delap, I think, just waiting to
You don't know how
spark
big
into
this
life
club
with
is.
Chelsea,
Like,
but
you don't know
goals
the
so
weight
far.
the weight he carries around the world.
Here's Neto. James goes
But-
on the outside of him. Bending cross towards Garnacho. Felt as if he had an arm on the back of his shoulder. The
What?
referee
Is that not? Did
wasn't
he
calling
not
for
pull
it.
him? Did he not pull him on that? It looks like a pen to me. Do we have VAR in this? Do we have VAR? I think we do. Yeah, Jimmy's a poison one.
Neto finding that cross with the outside of his boot into Caicedo to Delap. Back to Neto again. And it's brilliant from
Whoa!
pinpoint and precise.
It had to be a goal like that. Yeah, to
Applause
take them
comes
out.
from the manager
It had to be a goal like that. So
because it's a stunning strike from the Portuguese. Absolutely
1-0
nothing
Chelsea.
that Phillips could do about that. It went past him in a
Wow.
flash. And Chelsea, who have had all of the ball, finally had the goal.
We talked about clinical, that Chelsea just haven't been so far tonight. What about this? It's an absolutely terrific effort in the end as it comes through. Takes that touch out of his feet and then it's always moving away from Phillips. It's nice little intricate, they have to move it fast, they do. They get that little bit of space and that is all that Neto needs. What about that for a finish?
For a finish.
Such an experienced player.
They cracked the code,
in
mate.
that
They cracked the
central
code,
area.
Chelsea.
Really enjoying it tonight.
Well, it's his first goal since the last round against
They,
Charlton.
they're thinking about selling him as well, you know, Neto. They're saying, I read something along the lines that
And his team on
him,
the back foot.
Garnacho, a few others, they will be sold, you know, in the summer.
It's always going to take, I think, a moment of quality like that to open up, because they've been pretty resolute up until that point.
So dominating the defending and they just
I'll take
finding
Neto at
space.
United.
Chelsea,
I'll
as
take
soon
him
as you
there.
start to shoot from
It's a really good
better
player.
distances, you have to defend a little bit differently, but that ended up in the back of the net and he saw the space. Pedro Neto.
Chelsea have the reward for their dominance in possession. Liam Delap. Gets it back to Garnacho.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And the way they keeps leaving him off, you know, on the bench or for certain players, you're thinking, right, it's a young player. He's really good. He's good. I agree with you on that.
Just been on vogue.
United wanted to sign him years ago.
In particular, Aston Villa have scored a lot of goals from distance.
Yeah.
It's certainly worth an effort.
We wanted to sign him before he went to Chelsea, I think, but we couldn't pay the price for it.
Come out and engage and block, and that's where the space appears.
He's attack minded, you know. Everything about him is going forward. He plays like, he reminds me of Rafinha a little bit. You know what I mean? Bit of Rafinha in him.
But there is just enough vulnerability in this game to make it interesting.
Hull have been honest opponents as well. They've tested Chelsea at times, they've defended well. There's always that threat. Chelsea just need to.
Garnacho's not been able to do anything on that side.
Sneak a second goal if they can.
It's like he's gone down.
Isola. Here's Wesley Fofana. Sarr. Keep the ball amongst the back line when they got too many options in front of them. When they find one,
No, he wanted to leave.
spring them handball
He
through.
wanted to leave. He wanted to go Arsenal. Remember, this was during the Club World Cup as well. So he went to America with them. I don't know if you can see this banner. This is what's outside Old Trafford now. It's showing outside Old Trafford.
In the autumn saw them shoot up the league. They had a problem. They were letting in too many goals as well. But when they were thrashed here by Middlesbrough, they had a bit of a
I don't think
meeting
you can
and
see
changed
that.
things around.
But yeah,
The worst defence in the league. That was a bit of a turning point.
Madueke, during the Club World Cup, he wanted to leave Chelsea for some reason. Something went wrong.
Picked up 8 wins and registered 7 clean sheets during that period.
I mean, I think these days the players, mostly the players have controls over this club. Like we say, yeah, like you're saying there, Neto is too good for Chelsea. So if a club like United comes and knock on the door and say we want him, right? Neto will say, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to United. So they can't sell him anywhere. You know, he won't mind sitting on the bench. So Madueke, for some reason, he left the Club World Cup and they won the Club World Cup as well. Yeah, which will never happen. But between Arsenal and Chelsea in London, he's probably more close to Chelsea than Arsenal. I mean, to Arsenal than Chelsea. Maybe he's got friends in that Arsenal team squad.
Reece James to take the corner.
Yeah, but that's because the rivalry between United and City. It's gonna get a yellow card for that, you know. The rivalry between United and City is bigger than the rivalry between Arsenal or Chelsea. You know, if anything, Arsenal will see us as bigger rivals than to Chelsea. And to get a player to go from United to City or City to United, first of all, they'll be thinking about their own safety, security. You know what I mean? Like, bro, this is Manchester, man. Like walking around in Manchester, and you made that switch from United to, you have to be a really gangster kind of like football to be able to do that. Like Tevez, Tevez could walk around Manchester, no one will touch him.
At the end of the first half, Dylan Phillips is going to take the free kick from just outside the centre circle.
But yeah, Arsenal paid the money, and they let him go. His goal was really good yesterday, by the way. Really good goal.
Slater. Andre Santos, and that's the last act of the.
That's the last action of the night. Well, first half.
Made the breakthrough after Chelsea had several opportunities. Liam Massini's return to hold so far been a pleasant one, but they took their time in order to get in front. Liam Delap thought he'd scored early in the game, but a deflected clearance went towards the goal, hit the crossbar, and stayed out just. But Chelsea, the 8-time winners, have their noses in front.
That was Tevez like one of them. Tevez is like one of them crazy guys, bro. So Tevez will not be scared to walk around Manchester, get people looking at him, United fans staring at him, because what are you gonna do to Tevez? The guy himself can take people out, you know what I mean? You can see him there. But then you gotta think about then if you're like a local lad, right? Let's say somebody like O'Reilly switching from City to United, he's thinking, he's from Moston, his families are there, there are United fans there, something might have to give for him to say, no, I'm gonna switch to United, I don't care. Because then he might have that security clearance from everyone around him. Or somebody like Mano switching from United to City. Bro, that would be scary. Having your old family in the town, in the city as well. You can't just switch from United to City. You got to think about all of that, man. Yeah, Tevez was a crazy move. That he didn't give a shit. Tevez, he didn't care, did he? Just left. We'll also wait for first half to.
Because they have sacked Thomas Frank this week, but it doesn't look like they've got a replacement lined up. We sort of follow this quite closely, these situations. Obviously, it's what we spend a lot of our time doing. And we're not getting concrete answers as to who they're going to appoint. So I suppose the question is, one, who's the favourite? And two, why did Tottenham decide to make this decision right now when they haven't got anybody lined up and ready to go?
Well, I think because the board there, the chief executive and the sporting director, Johan Langer, wanted to give Thomas Frank more time to turn it around. But I think they realised, even at half-time, from what I'm told, when they gathered in a bit of the huddle in the director's box during that game against Newcastle, that things couldn't continue. They were 1-0 down at that point, lost 2-1. The atmosphere was toxic. There were lots of empty seats, actually, inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as you'll testify. So I think that's why they didn't have someone lined up ready to go. We know that Mauricio Pochettino is their top target, as I mentioned earlier. He is obviously contracted to the USA at least until after this summer's World Cup. So it does look like an interim is the road that they're going to go down. They want someone in place by Monday. I'm told they're looking for an experienced coach just to steady the ship until the end of the season. Marco Rosa, ex-Leipzig manager, is someone whose name is emerging over the last couple of hours as a potential candidate. But speaking of Kevin Hatchard, our German expert, he thinks he might be reluctant to take it just on a short-term basis. So let's see.
Well, Marco Rosa has been in charge of a number of teams in the Bundesliga. He's a very experienced manager. He was in charge at Borussia Dortmund as well, wasn't he? I think very shortly after, who was he? He followed Peter Bosch at Borussia
Sounds
Dortmund. Right. He's been involved quite a long time in different types of German roles.
No Premier League experience, though.
He hasn't really got any experience outside Germany, I don't think. So it's a big ask for him to come in. I think it's quite well thought of in the Red Bull system. But obviously walking into Tottenham with no Premier League experience and taking on what is effectively a relegation battle is quite a big ask, isn't it, Gabby?
It's a massive ask, and you have to get it right. You know, we talk about Nottingham Forest and Pereira. We don't know if that's going to work out, but you have to get this appointment right. And I'm just worried for Spurs as well, Sam, because it doesn't matter to me who they get. Their next 6 games. Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home, Sunderland away.
It's these head-to-heads, isn't
All
it?
the best.
You know,
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Forest
Massive
against
game.
Spurs is a huge game
They've
for
all
whoever
played-
loses
They've
that.
all got Fulham to play as well, West Ham included.
Yeah.
Fulham have just dipped a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, but they won't get relegated, but they'll have a big say on who does.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's scary times. It's real now to Spurs fans. You know, maybe 2 months ago, everyone's like, no, you're just saying that. Everyone doesn't like Spurs. Now it's even Spurs fans that phone into this show the last couple of days, and they're agreeing like, yeah, I'm worried now.
Yeah, but it does feel as if, like, all of a sudden, the realization has hit everybody,
Yeah.
and I think that was sort of in the aftermath of the performance of the game against Newcastle, especially in the first half, where they were just completely off it. They just don't look like a team that are going to take a game to the opponents, even in their own stadium. And do you know what? It didn't help that then they sacked Ange Postecoglou, and then then they sacked Thomas Frank. Then Ange Postecoglou comes out and has his say
Wow.
on what it was like to be part of the Tottenham Hotspur setup. He claimed, amongst a number of things this week, that they are not a big club. They are the antithesis of their famous "to dare is to do" motto. He went on to describe them as a curious club. He talked about the fact that when they finished 5th, he wanted to sign 3 players that would take them to the next level. He mentioned and name-checked Semenyo and Mark Gay. He said he didn't get that. He got teenagers instead. And although he thinks those teenagers will be very good, that's not what they needed at that time. He even sort of talked about them being Spursy. He used that word during the course of the interview. And, of course, he said they're not a big club. And he was talking, I think, in terms of wages. But Alex Crook has been crowing about this for the last 24 hours because, of course, this has been his motto. He said, I felt like Tottenham was saying, we're one of the big boys. And the reality is, I don't think they are.
Well, it's interesting. If I've been saying that in an Australian accent and holding up the Europa League trophy for the past 6 months, maybe Tottenham fans might believe me a bit more because he's their hero, isn't he? Despite the fact he finished 17th last season. And he's right. he said all the things that I've been saying. They're a big club in terms of the training ground is fantastic. The stadium is the best in the Premier League, if not the best in Europe. But they're not a big club in terms of trophies won, in terms of global fan base, when you compare them to the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United and Arsenal, especially now that Son is not there anymore, because that did open up all kinds of avenues for them. And they're not a big club in terms of the transfer fees they pay, because Dominic Solanke is still their record signing at £65 million. And they're not a big club in terms of the wages.
Well, actually, that does make them a big club in world football because there's not many clubs that play that sort of money for players. Most of them are in the Premier League.
Big club, though.
But wages is a big problem.
Yeah, but they're not paying pennies here. Like, what we're talking about here, maybe they don't pay £300,000 a week, but I can imagine some of the Spurs players are on close to 200.
Yeah, mate.
I would imagine.
Well, they certainly shouldn't have a wage bill. Their wage bill is not 17th, 16th in the Premier League, is it? There's no way that can be the case.
No, but I also think what Ange was saying was that when he finished 5th in his first season,
we should be going.
but that was an overachievement, really, when you look at where Tottenham have been in the Premier League era. I know they had a few golden years under Mauricio Pochettino, but they're not an established top 4 team. They're not.
The producer just asked me, actually, would another Premier League club worry about hiring Ange Postecoglou because he was quite happy to air this?
He was quite vitriolic, I thought.
I didn't like it.
He was quite vitriolic.
I didn't like it. When I watched it and saw it, I thought, if I'm a Spurs fan here, and if I'm the hierarchy at Spurs, I'm thinking, oh, you got some nerve, haven't you? Yes, you won the Europa League for us, fantastic, but our league form was horrendous under you. You're part of the problem.
But the irony is,
isn't he just spitting truth?
But the Spurs fans have lapped it up. The Spurs fans have lapped it up.
So have you, because you've agreed with him.
I'm not a Tottenham fan.
Sam, but using the word Spursy, we know how that winds up Spurs fans when you call it Spursy. For him to use that word.
But hold on, Gabby. Isn't it about time somebody actually did just tell the truth about the situation there? Someone from the inside just come out and said, actually, do you know what? This isn't working. This isn't right. We need to do something about it. And the only way you're going to address it is if you do have someone with a bit of stature who understands the inner workings of the club coming out and telling everybody what it's really like.
Player reposted it with Charlton. He's got some nerve, hasn't he? This guy, the chicken dancer, when he scores a goal, like
pigeon
chicken.
He's talk sport.
This is not going to sit easy with Tottenham fans, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, God.
The truth is, Daniel Levy wasn't the problem. So when they celebrated that Daniel Levy had been ousted and it was going to be a bold new era because the ownership is different, it's the same owners that Daniel Levy was working for. They say they're going to prioritise sporting success. Their actions in the transfer market haven't shown that. In fact, I don't think they'd be in such a mess if Daniel Levy was still there, because I don't think he would have let the Thomas Frank situation go on for so long, and he wouldn't let the pupils have taken over the classroom.
Here's the stat for you. Spurs, since 2019, when they moved into their new stadium, have lost 45 games. Arsenal moved into the Emirates 13 years earlier. They've lost 49. That just shows their home form is atrocious.
Well, their home form is atrocious.
By the way, you had a go at the captain, Romero, for airing his dirty laundry in public, but it's okay for Ange to do it now he's left the club.
Oh, I didn't say it was okay. I said that isn't it about time someone does it? He didn't really do it, though, did he? He just said Romero is part of that machine, and he doesn't really have the sort of right to come out and say, you've got to take responsibility and show leadership, and then go and kick someone a week later and get sent off.
Well, this time last week, Tottenham fans were telling me I was wrong about him as well. He wasn't a liability. He was a world-class defender.
You're spot on, mate.
Crookie, the Nostradamus of Tottenham Hotspur.
You didn't need to be Nostradamus to work out he was going to be a problem, by the way.
Can they get their problem solved by hiring a Ferencváros manager, Robbie Keane? He's a former Spurs striker.
Go on, Robbie.
He's doing relatively well, actually, in Hungary. He did very well previously in Israel. So what are the chances of him returning to his former side?
Would you expect their invitation for you to become the manager?
I can't help speculation.
That was it. I thought it was a lot longer than that.
If they call, I'm there.
He literally said, I can't help speculation, and then walked off.
That was Robbie
Fantastic. I was expecting quite a lot more from him. Wonder if that gives away its own story.
Could that be? Listen, if you are going to go down the interim route, and I think he might be reluctant to leave Ferencváros
There's
to
no
come
way
in
he's
short
going to
term.
leave Ferencváros where he could win the title and then go to Tottenham for 3 months.
But would you, if you were Tottenham, would you be more all in on Robbie Keane or Marco Rosa? Eden Terzic has been mentioned in the Telegraph as well. I think Robbie Keane could galvanise the fans, couldn't he? And play the type of football they want to play.
It's hard, isn't it, quickly, because we can all say yes to this. Like, a lot of people said Thomas Frank, great manager, Brentford, perfect. He should have got the Man United.
He is a good manager.
And it hasn't worked for him, though. But he hasn't showed it, has he? At Spurs.
Ferencváros are top of the table. Why would he leave now to get involved in a relegation battle for 3 months, which might harm his managerial career?
The only thing I would say,
he's not going to harm himself by staying at Ferencváros and turning it down.
But look at Ruud van Nistelrooy. What do you have? 3 games as Manchester United's interim manager, hammered Leicester twice. He got the job.
Yeah, but
if Robbie Keane comes in, saves Tottenham from relegation, they're probably not going to go down anyway.
Ruud van Nistelrooy got the job.
Got the Leicester job.
Got the Leicester
on the back
job,
of the United job. If Robbie Keane does come in, he picks up a few wins. Surely that's put him on Premier League radars more than what he's doing in Hungary at the moment.
Okay, I really wanted to hear from Kate, actually. I thought.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Okay, speaking of the bench, for Chelsea, no changes at half-time. And the only goal that separates them at the moment is that one that we saw just before half-time, Pedro Neto. Also, I'd have to say, Rory Delap's not playing. He's probably watching on his sofa at home thinking, pardon? I came close to scoring, did I? No, it was Liam, of course. Guys, much the same for Chelsea second half?
No, I think we mentioned they missed Chelsea's chances from Chelsea, but I have to say concentrated. Chelsea have shown that they've got leads, 2-0 against Leeds, and dropped 17 points in the Premier League, 4th most. So that might be 1-0, but Holly very much still in this game, Laura.
That's it. For Dean Holden, you just heard there. That this is a team that's just one single goal. So what do you want to see from Hull in the second half?
Oh, they won't be disheartened from that first half. Like Dean Holden was saying at half-time, they understand Chelsea got the quality. They're going to create chances, but they're going to stay in it. They're going to try and hit them on the break. 1-0 as long as they possibly can, and then put the pressure on.
Okay, let's get into it, guys. Second half is about to kick off, so we'll go back up to your commentary team, Lucy. But first, Sam.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Yeah, for Hull City fans of a certain age, Chelsea have been a recurring villain, really. Unbeaten against them since 1988, 8 straight wins, 11 FA Cup meetings without the Tigers ever really coming out on the right side of the tie. But a bit of recent history might just give Hull a little bit of hope. Chelsea's only FA Cup exits to lower division sides in their last 64 such ties have been at the hands of Yorkshire opposition. How important are the first few minutes of the second half for Hull City, Lucy?
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite interesting to listen to Dean Holden then. You know, they've done so well at times, Hull, to get the ball up in front of Chelsea's goal, and then technically it's just let them down, or they've not made the right pass. If you get that right just once, then back in the game. But Chelsea just be hoping that it can be as clinical as Neto certainly was. With the second goal probably be enough.
I mentioned it, there's 17 that Chelsea have dropped from winning position, so they have a habit of not seeing out games when they're in a position of authority. So
Does he goes to penalty if
against Leeds.
it ends in a draw?
Here's Hato. Hato, the goal scorer. Reece James wandering into midfield. 4,300 in here tonight, which is pretty much a sellout for the MKM. Here's James getting forward well and trying to find Liam Delap at the near post, but it's just beyond him and into the arms of Dylan Phillips. Chance.
It's good play from Reece James. Rather than being out wide as a fullback, he come inside and just made that run in the inside channel. It's difficult to defend against. Actually, a good ball across. No one on the end of it.
It's Tuesday night's match through illness. Some influence on this team. Great defender. And he is a super deliverer of the ball. It's going to be Coyle, who's just signed a new contract with Hull, supporting the team. An old friend of yours.
Yeah, I've known Lewis since he was about 10 years old. Started at Leeds Academy, went all the way through, played in the first team, but yeah, really impressive individual. Great to see him captain as his hometown club.
He's played right back, left wing back, left back and right wing back this season so far. And he comes from a sporting family. His brother Tommy is a boxing champ. His brother Joe, a golfer. His dad Chris was the former Mr. Hull, a bodybuilder.
Lovely family as well. Actually passed away a couple of years ago, and just loved all four boys. They've all got families of their own, and like you say, professional athletes.
Here's Garnacho. Deep to get involved in the play as Chelsea continue to dominate possession. From a City point of view, it's about finishing. They've started. Mitrovic has talked about his players wanting to be Premier League footballers. This is a one-night show reel, really. Your duels against who's in the middle of the park, Caicedo. Possess Pedro Neto, show what you can do. Use it as a way to build confidence for the rest of the championship season. Here's Esteban, attacking from the right flank. It's a jump that Regan Slater has won. It's down on the second occasion to Moises Caicedo. James has stayed forward. Caicedo trying to draw the foul and successfully doing that for Liam Miller.
Yeah, the change in where Reece James is playing has already paid dividends for Chelsea in the opening minutes of this second half. Just in the inside channel, he's connected well out wide with Esteban, causing problems.
That's one of the things that Chelsea fans have liked about Liam Delap, Liam Senior over the early part of his career at Chelsea. The fact that he's made those in-game tactical tweaks that have made a real difference.
Yeah, the players are responding as well. It's really important. Stops knowing he can see now, knows what's happening.
Free kick for Chelsea. To Esteban, back to Reece James. Caicedo. So getting around the corner for Neto, a chance to cross here. Fafana coming at the far post. Santos with the header, and it's pushed over the top by Dylan Phillips. Andre Santos has only ever scored once for Chelsea. Came very close to getting a second.
Yeah, terrific play down the right-hand side. They were quite patient from the free kick. It's a nice ball. Look how nicely weighted that appreciation of the run of Neto, and then Santos is coming in behind and managed to get something on it. The goalkeeper probably saw it quite late, really.
Quietly very effective at the base of Chelsea's midfield. He knows the manager from Strasbourg. The manager has called him Dunga as a nickname because he's a Brazilian but doesn't really play like one. Into the near post it goes, and he sneaks all the way through.
2-0.
Hato is celebrating, but it might just have gone beyond him and not even taken a touch. Dylan Phillips out Fox, Hull 2 behind, and
2-0. It's
Liam
over.
Rosenior's enjoying his return to the MKM Stadium in Hull.
Yeah, it's a crucial time for Chelsea to score, even more crucial for Hull to concede straight after half-time. Phillips is really not happy. It's right in the near post, he gets something on it. It did hit someone else going. There's a lot of bodies in there, isn't there, as the ball comes round. Just went through his legs, didn't it, by the
lucky
look of
me.
it? But everybody went to Hato. Did he get anything on it? I'm not sure. I think it just went all the way in, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it goes all the way in, and the only person that touched it was Phillips. It just took a tiny nick off the inside of his leg. I think that goes down as a Neto goal.
On earth did that get all the way through those bodies, which I think is in a different sort of way is what Phillips is asking his defenders.
Well, that makes things a lot more tricky for Hull City and for Sergei Yakirovich.
Yeah, I think his messages at half-time, do not concede early. After you go out for the second half, it just means that Chelsea will just start to try and control, but they've still got to try and disrupt the play. Hull.
Miller sending the ball down that left-hand side, looking for Kumas, well stopped by Caicedo, and he almost prevented it from going for a corner as well. He certainly stopped it from reaching Kumas in the centre. It is a corner for Hull.
Good response as well from Hull down that right-hand side. I don't know about Charles's quality into the box. It's just gone beyond it. Trying to keep it in play. Caicedo, it's good positioning actually.
It's Bernardo Cueva, the set-piece coach. He's actually a club-appointed coach. He's stuck around under two different managers, Pochettino and Maresco, and then stayed for Liam Rosenior as well. I think he could probably take too much credit for that Pedro Neto set-piece, but Rosenior did turn and point straight at him straight away afterwards, so maybe it was all in the planning.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I have to say.
All the way by Fofana. Egan. Esther now looking for Garnacho. Thinks he got a little touch there and is scampering away. Liam Delap peels away to the far post. Garnacho still has it.
What is it? What was that?
Couldn't find a pass again. Much to the frustration of his teammates and the Chelsea supporters behind that goal. So, was it or was it not Pedro Neto's second goal? I think we're going to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit strange, bizarre way that it went in. And Olympico, I think he may have got a touch, like you said, the touch that eventually came was from the goalkeeper, maybe. Yeah, I'd give it to Pedro Neto. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that went through that many people that he didn't really plan that, did he? Not so sure.
Writing a note now on his iPad there. Might be one for the future that they use again. You were a set-piece coach, you'd be claiming it.
I'm not sure if he stood on the edge of the technical area like some of them do, though, I have to say. On a hat-trick then, yeah?
What's important for Chelsea is this how they manage the game now between now and the end of it. Not to give anything up to Hull City, try and get themselves a clean sheet, build a bit of confidence at the back, which has been a problem for them away from home. Here's Garnacho, how he would love a goal tonight. Trying to get one too.
It's good play on the left-hand side, Garnacho. Say one thing about him, he keeps going. He keeps wanting the ball, keeps trying to do something, whether it works or not. It doesn't always work, it doesn't always have something of quality at the end of it, but keep working.
7 of 10 in terms of victories so far for Liam Rosenior. It's a record that stands up to scrutiny. They're always going to take seriously. He certainly wouldn't have wanted to be embarrassed on his return to Hull. After this, the players getting a good chunk of time to rest and recuperate. They don't play again until they welcome Burnley to the Bridge next Saturday.
Oh, where is it, man?
Kawa trying to keep it in. Some great news from the Olympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina. Matt Weston is the Olympic men's skeleton champion. History has been made. Great Britain hadn't won a medal in Milan Cortina until that point, and no British man had ever been the Olympic skeleton champion. But Matt Weston has changed all that. And you can relive and see every moment on TNT Sports. Here's Lewis Kumas down the right-hand side. Challenge from Mamadou Sarr.
Trying to respond, aren't they? Hull City. They work so hard in those sort of areas. Interested to see whether they do make any changes. Look like some action on Chelsea's bench. Fernandez looks like he's ready to come on.
It's the third corner of the game for Hull City. What was happening close, and Chelsea had to be alert. Obviously, Fofana was. Giles recycles it. Away by Fofana again. Chelsea neatly play that out. There's quite a lot of space going forward. Chelsea about to make a double substitution and taking off their captain, Reece James, who has been out for a little while and has just come back from illness after recuperating from injury in the early part of the week. Moises Caicedo, who plays a lot of matches, so being withdrawn. Enzo Fernandez and Josh Champong about to come on. Here is Delap trying to get the better of the central defender. He does that. Can he find a finish? Esteban.
Oh,
And Chelsea do take a 3-goal lead.
it's over.
Well, the Hull City owner who sacked Liam Rosenior because he didn't like his football is probably sitting watching this thinking, I don't feel as if I'm too fond of tonight's football either, because Chelsea have taken supreme charge now at the start of the second half. Delap made it, Esteban has finished it, and he's finished the tie as well.
And that was brilliant, all about Liam Delap then. He ran into that right channel, he had so much to do as the ball comes over to him. He makes the run, and he's strong.
It's over, mate.
It's just as easy, make sure that he makes that run, gets in front of the defender, and then lays it on an absolute play for Esteban. It's terrific work from Delap. He's worked hard, it's not worked out for him, not quite got it right in front of goal, but he's absolutely brilliant here as a number 9. It's all about his work.
Well, Esteban has a Chelsea goal in the Champions League, the Premier League, the League Cup, and now the FA Cup. No wonder he's got a smile as wide as the Humber. Chelsea changes. Enzo Fernandez and Joshua Champong on. Caicedo and Reece James.
It's not been easy, that first half for Chelsea, but just the pure weight of bit of quality, physicality and fitness just overcome Hull.
Dispossessed. Irikawa. Hato. Under a little bit of pressure, plays it against Hirakawa. He's out for a goal kick. Leo Moutinho will want some of this group, maybe some of those that aren't necessarily first choice, to put pressure on him to pick next week. Injuries, a squad that is a bit unbalanced, and a reluctance to spend in January means he's needed to find solutions from within the group. Chelsea have brought back Sarr to stiffen the defence. He's used Joshua Champong quite a lot, and he was pretty impressive in the game against Leeds, especially in the first half. That driving 60-yard run certainly was the standout moment.
They've certainly got a good squad, Sam. They've got strength and depth. Chelsea, even with any injuries, might be interesting to see any of the younger players on, whether it's Dario.
It's all done, bro. It's gone.
It's
gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Now it's going forward again. Such a young squad, a young team, aren't they, Chelsea? Say some of the younger players. I mean, Esteban's only 18 years of age. And it's the 105th consecutive game in all competitions that Chelsea have named the starting lineup without a single player aged 30 or over in the team. Longest run by a Premier League team. It's 47 was Aston Villa between August 97 and May 1998. So Chelsea almost naming a team without a 30-year-old in it for double the amount of time that anyone else has ever done.
Yeah, I mean, they're learning quickly, this group of players, over the last couple of seasons. Maresca and now Rossini, they're getting the experience, winning the Conference League, blooding a lot of good players in there. Some of them are shining. Enzo Fernandez is really playing well now. Just come on.
Champong is a good prospect. Andre Santos is getting more minutes under Rossini. Some signing Jarell Hato scored the first goal of the Rossini era and has played well tonight, at 19. Delat probably needs a bit of room to develop too. They can step up. It does take the burden off of those players, like you mentioned, Fernandez. He's had to play a lot of games. Caicedo, João Pedro, are almost playing all the time. Other changes for Hull City. Off comes Leo Villa and central midfielder Matija Metovic. Comes Gelhardt. Slater. Lundstrom, who's off the bench wearing number 5 from a Rangers midfield player, from a Sheffield United midfield player, very experienced. Slater in midfield, who will make Hull City tick. On a week-to-week basis, he was given most of the night off tonight, but he's been called into action for the last 25 minutes.
I think it shows how well Hull City are doing in the Championship, that he's having to rest players. He wants to make sure that they're ready for the next league game because they're in such a good position in the playoff positions. Hull, and they're playing so well. Really want to detriment to that. But I think they've come across a team with a lot of quality. We've just ground them down with that quality and have the clinical edge at the end of it. He's doing in the Championship that he's having to rest players. He wants to make sure.
Gerhardt's certainly got a clinical edge as well, and he might well make a contribution tonight. So might Liam Delat, who's on the ball now, with Neto in the centre, and it's smuggled behind one there.
He's had 2 assists, hasn't he? I think Delat, nice. That's where his game suited, with the long ball over the top, where he's 1v1 with the centre back, and he shows that strength, and he has a shot himself where he brings others into play. Here are the little bits that Chelsea need into his feet when there's bodies around.
Neto in the centre, and it's smuggled behind one
better at them. Ex-Chelsea players, hasn't he? I think Delat, nice. That's where his game suited, with the long ball over the top, where he's 1v1 with the centre back, and he shows that strength. 23-24 season.
8 goals in 31 appearances in the Championship for Hull. Chelsea again set up that near post corner kick routine, and it almost befuddles Dylan Phillips again. I think we saw more evidence there of exactly what had been designed by the set-piece coach, which was a late burst towards the near post, which unsettled everybody, which is why the goalkeeper got a little bit confused.
Yeah,
I
but
think
you'd still expect your goalkeeper to take charge
corner
here.
kick routine, and it almost befuddles Dylan Phillips
I mean,
again.
that is such a
I think we saw more
perfectly
evidence there of
taken
exactly
corner
what
again.
had been designed by
Exactly the
the
same
set-piece
place.
coach, which was
Left foot.
a late burst towards the near
Neto.
post, which unsettled everybody.
Night for
Which is
Amadou
why the
Salah. That's a yellow card for delaying the
Yeah,
restart.
but you'd still
Phillips
expect
tries to
your
clear it
goalkeeper
away.
to take charge here.
FA Cup debut, first Chelsea start tonight. Dylan Phillips
I mean,
again.
that is such a
I think we saw more
perfectly
evidence there of
taken
exactly
corner
what
again.
had been designed by
Exactly
the
the same
set-piece
place.
coach, which was
Left foot.
a late burst
Just about round the
towards
corner.
Neto.
Santos joining. Night for Amadou Salah. That's a yellow card for delaying the restart.
Yeah, but you'd still
Phillips tries
expect
to
your
clear it
goalkeeper
away.
to take charge here.
FA Cup debut, first Chelsea start tonight. Dylan Phillips
I mean,
again.
that is such a perfectly taken corner again. Exactly the same place. Left foot.
Just about round the corner. Santos joining. Night for Amadou Salah. That's a yellow card for delaying the restart. Garnacho.
Still
Tries
expect
to
your
clear it
goalkeeper
away.
to take charge here.
FA Cup debut, first Chelsea start tonight. Dylan Phillips
I mean,
again.
that is such a perfectly taken corner again.
Santos.
Same place.
Sliding it through to Esteban. Santos joining.
That's a yellow card for delaying the City. There's number 2 at home games against Queen's Park Rangers and Derby. The first of those isn't until next Saturday either. Offside flag is against Champong over on the far side. City have done well to negotiate a period of transfer restriction. Sporting director Jared Dublin and Martin Hodge, who is the head of recruitment, Sheffield Wednesday man, managed to convince John Lundstrom, Oliver Burney, Mo Balumi, who's not fit but is some player, is to sign at this club. Despite the transfer restrictions, they do have the 7th or 8th highest wage bill in the Championship, but they've been able to spend on wages because they haven't been able to spend on transfer fees, and it's restricted them to loans and free transfers for 2 windows.
And the recruitment's been good. I think that shows in where they are in the league table.
Hirikawa, the challenge that is from Champong. Fafana to Fernandez. So, happy to keep control of the football and force the issue here. Hutton. On the front foot. Chelsea have been for most of the game. Neto. Now Hutton again. Difficult situation for Hull now, because they're basically chasing shadows. Chelsea quite happy to keep possession and move them around the pitch.
This is the position Rossini wanted to get into as soon as possible. It's taken them into the second half.
Esteban to Pedro Neto, sizing one up for a hat-trick. Delap back to Pedro Neto again. There is the hat-trick. Big celebration. Big
Neto.
moment for Pedro Neto. Chelsea lead by 4 goals to 0. And he has a Chelsea hat-trick in his back pocket in Hull. It was super football. And Liam Delap was involved again. It's a hat-trick of assists for him.
Yeah. It's a great finish from Neto. He's really classy footballer in front of goal. And he got Chelsea going. A really clever corner as well. And then that finish, probably not the last goal that we'll see here this evening. It's a nice play. He sees Delap's appreciation of his run. Hull just could not get close. As soon as they start moving the ball quickly, 1 and 2 touch, so difficult to defend against however many bodies are there, and that's really nicely weighted. Just pass the ball into the back of the net, Neto.
It's a first senior hat-trick for Pedro Neto of Chelsea. He did once score all three in a 3-0 victory for the Portuguese under-21 side against Cyprus 7 years ago. And that will mean the world to him. At the other end, Chelsea trying to keep a clean sheet. Gelhardt is prevented from poking that ball by Robert Sanchez by an excellent intervention from Harto.
Again, Harto is no harm at all.
Well, this is just the start of our FA Cup fourth round coverage over the course of what is a hugely busy weekend. Burton Albion against West Ham. It's tomorrow, 11:30 TNT Sports 1. We've got loads of stuff going through the afternoon, including the Goal Show Extra from 3 o'clock. Aston Villa Newcastle, Lucy and I will be there for that one. TNT Sports 3 tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. And then Liverpool against Brighton finishes off the day. We've got a whole host of fixtures on Sunday too. And then Huddersfield against Brentford on Monday night. Should be tasty as well. Looking forward to that.
Just looking at Neto, been playing in that number 10, just a deeper striker behind Delap, and he excelled. Yes, it's against Championship opposition, but he's found the space.
Away by Chelsea. It's good feet by Kumas. Gelhardt. Still Gelhardt. Picked it by very alert Arto. Card for Lundstrom. Yeah, a promising attack. We're going to see Tosin Adarabioyo, and we're also going to see the debut in the next few moments for young Jesse Derry. There he is. Jesse Derry with the curtains on the left-hand side, getting the instructions from Liam Rossigna, son of the former Crystal Palace, Portsmouth and Leeds footballer, Sean Derry.
Fabulous evening for Sean and his wife and family. Certainly talking to him about Jesse a few months ago when he moved from Palace to Chelsea and the opportunities he might get. This is a big step.
Palace last summer, he was in Palace Academy, he scored a hell of a lot of goals a couple of seasons back. He really is a proper goal scorer. A bit different to his dad, he was a competent midfield player. Now a very good coach. He was the assistant manager at Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Probably gone to bed, Scott. Sean.
That's for Palmer breaking the lines with a run forward. Can't quite get it back to Andre Santos, and Hull have turned it over with Louis Coyle. Here's Garnacho. Down the outside and trying to find Esteval. Quite work for Esteval, just got caught under his feet. Hull looking to escape.
4-0, mate. 4-0.
couple of changes for Hull and for Chelsea. First one is Esteval for Jesse Derry. You're about to go on the foot of play, you need a little bit of looking after, and Uncle Tosin is standing next to Jesse Derry. Derry, who is 18 years of age. Tosin widely thought one of the most senior players in the ranks is 27. He is the old head in the Chelsea group.
He can rest all the top players now if he wants.
On the score sheet tonight. His night's work for Liam, the senior. Tosin comes on for Steve Fafana. New Hirakawa is being replaced. On comes Joseph. Changes Cody Drama. Liam Leeds United, who comes in for Louis Coyle, one former Leeds fullback for another. Has had a few injury issues over the course of the season. Birmingham, Cardiff, whilst he was at Leeds United, he played a lot of football last year. In now season this, thigh injuries have caused him a real issue. Champion. Season's open. The Champion's made a really intelligent run. He's going to keep that in as well. And it's almost finding its way to Liam Delap. I think for the intervention of John Egan.
Delap is desperate for a goal.
Derry will run into the Champion.
Sergej Jakirovic played professional football for 20 years. He won 5 caps for Bosnia and managed Dinamo Zagreb to the Croatian double. He has football in his blood. Dad was goalkeeper. His son has just signed for Inter Milan. It's that near post dart again, and that near post corner again. So the referee has called foul.
This time Phillips was ready.
Saved those 2 penalties in the last round shootout with Blackburn. Didn't get caught out by that. Pedro Neto Olympico. All over the top. See. That's a mistake. Sanchez has come a long way and didn't get there. And Kuman
Sanchez, what are you doing?
Rob Sanchez under all sorts of pressure. That's another little mess of Chelsea's own making.
What are you doing, Sanchez?
He's going to come out like that. He's going to make sure that he take the ball. Doesn't really hurt Chelsea at this point.
Sanchez came up for the ball and he completely, totally missed the ball.
Got a corner.
Absolute mess.
Coming on. On comes Kieran Dow. His 5th appearance since signing from Rangers. Elton did well. He's on loan at Forest and Norwich. Put away by Son. This is Regan Slater. Away. The FA Cup football is finished. We've got European football all next week for you. Karabag against Newcastle. Barnsley against Nottingham Forest. Ruski
start against Crystal Palace in the Conference League, and Celtic are in action as well. All of the games available on the Discovery Plus app, and the first leg playoffs going to be fascinating next week and the week after. There's lots more action for you as well. It's going to be one hell of a week. Kieran Dow, it's the return down the left-hand side. One that they've accumulated quietly in the
he done it.
window. It's a good little run from Charles down that left-hand side. He almost caught the
Corner.
goalkeeper out.
Yeah, the substance just boosted them a little. Hull City, just a little bit more energy to what they're doing. Played by Charles, and he just saw that little space.
It's another Hull City corner. Through to Cornigan. Chelsea struggling to get it clear here. Kieran Dow, deflected effort, and that's away by Liam Delap.
They recovered well from the not being able to put the ball in the back of the net in the first half. Patrick and
Garnacho's not a good game at all. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost kind of feel sorry for Garnacho. It's not a good game
his
at all.
goal, but he has got a hat-trick of assists, as you mentioned. But he didn't celebrate the
The
goal.
team
He
is
thought
winning.
was
That's
going in.
all that matters. Look at
And
that.
then realised that
Just
actually it
whacks the
hadn't
ball
gone
out.
in, and couldn't readjust his body to just make sure. It's a corner. Just a little bit of momentum.
Another corner for Hull
Hull
City.
City as we reach the final 10 minutes.
They're trying to get the goal. Chelsea, that they keep a clean sheet. Yeah, really professional performance.
They have an FA Cup pedigree. Aaron Ramsey's Arsenal's midfielder broke their hearts when they got to the final in 2014. Steve Bruce was in charge, and Insigne played most of that game right back. Took a 2-goal lead in that Wembley final. Behind by Jesse Derrick. Final 12 years ago went to extra time. This one doesn't look like it's going to extra time, but Chelsea having the very good cushion now. For an impulse corner this time. Charles effort that felt like Tosin, that he couldn't control it. Arto's throw. Liam Insigne absolutely loved his time at Hull as a player, as a manager. He formed some great friendships here. When he got the job as the Chelsea gaffer, a couple of his former teammates, Paul McShane, Robbie Brady and James Chester, sending a selfie of them in the pub, raising a glass to the new Chelsea gaffer. They did caption it with the words, "Never thought you'd be Chelsea, boss." That's what friends are for.
Take those chances when you get them.
It's just a bad day, Garnacho.
Closing down the goalkeeper.
You can't pass anyone, you can't beat anyone. You can't dribble. I've not seen him dribble past any of the Hull City players.
It's important to have a good game tonight for Chelsea, build a little bit of confidence. He had a brilliant game with Sam a couple of weeks ago against Fulham and Craven Cottage, where he held the ball up brilliantly and scored in that match.
Do you know, he did responding to the mistake or the lack of scoring when he should have done that support young players. It is something that we've seen he's talked about as well in the lead up after games.
From Jesse Derry. The confidence and the skill to try and get himself into an advanced position. Silverware isn't easy to come by, is it? You know, Chelsea can only really win the FA Cup or the Champions League this season. It would certainly make Stamford Bridge feel a lot more like home for Liam Messina if he could get his hands on something tangible. Unless you're only 90 minutes away from a quarter-final. Chelsea are the only team in history to lose 3 FA Cup finals in a row. It's beautiful from Garnacho. Now Pedro Neto. Looking for Garnacho, just a little bit heavy for the Argentine. Pedro Neto. Player of the match, Lucy?
Yeah, I think he's just about edged it.
Gave it away.
Neto apologised to Garnacho.
The Emirates player of the match.
Just gave him a really poor ball there.
Goals that he scored tonight.
Yeah, the first one was really important because they were puffing and puffing in front of goal and not really getting that clinical edge, and that was brilliant. And this is really good work, clever football, passed it to the back of the net. Perfect.
Well, Delap has now come off after supplying 2 assists for Pedro Neto and 1 for Esteban. He's been replaced by Shimbueka. We've seen quite a few times. It's his 4th appearance of the season. He was used in last season's Conference League.
Doing well in the age groups as well, and that's why he's got his opportunity tonight.
So with another couple of young players blooded under Liam Messina. He's part of the brief. Well, that was a really nice moment for Liam Messina. He was on the touchline, and it's the whole fans that were singing his name just moments ago, and he is well remembered here, despite the owner not being a fan of his football. He's well liked. He's described as a very positive guy around the city. He was always focused on football, even when he was a player. His former teammates talk about watching games whilst they were playing Mario Kart. He was always destined to be a manager. It's a nice moment for him, spending so many years in this city. From Harto, but a little bit late from Gelhardt. That's going to be a yellow card. Let's just hope that Jarrell Harto isn't seriously hurt there.
Well, I thought that the ball was there to be won, but he was late. There could have been a little bit of weight on it. Harto's okay. Performance challenge.
Season actually, Joe Gelhardt. Last goal was a consolation against Middlesbrough in December 10-24. Did have a little bit of a cut-off issue actually over the Christmas period. He hasn't scored since coming back to fitness. He scored 8 in the previous 10 matches before that. Concentrate on their enter the championship. Trying to escape the attentions of Paddy McNair. The last time that Hull City were in the 4th round of this competition, they were soundly beaten by Chelsea. They're going to be soundly beaten by them again tonight. We're into the first of 3 added minutes at the end of the game. 6 league titles, 8 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, 2 Champions League, 2 Europa Leagues, 2 Cup Winners' Cups, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 2 Club World Cups and a Conference League. There is a slight difference in the trophy haul and budget and experience. Chelsea are always expected to come here and make that count tonight. Here's a Champon. His first goal at Nottingham Forest earlier in the season, and that was a decent hit.
Yeah, well, Chelsea fans have seen a lot of positives tonight, haven't they? Some standout performances, some French players playing well, goals, good defensive performances as well, and he'll certainly be happy with his team coming here and being professional and ensuring that they come away with a win.
And Chelsea do love this competition, Lucy. We've reached 16 FA Cup finals. One of them in the last 19 seasons. Here's a chance though for Kumas at the end, trying to poke it home against the post. That would have been a consolation goal for Hull
What a
City.
chance for consolation.
A bit of sloppy slack
Hull
Chelsea
City nearly got
right at the
consolation
very
there.
end. Did Robert Sanchez get a little touch on that?
It was
Lucy?
a really good finish, by the way. He took it so early, just trying to take Sanchez by surprise, but he hasn't had too much to do today. Robert Sanchez, it's Route 1 stuff, isn't it? Clever finish this. Just trying to toe poke it into the corner with the slightest of touches from the Chelsea goalkeeper. Yeah, fingertips. Brilliant.
They don't mind mixing it up. We mentioned that in the first half, Hull City. The flick on by Gelhardt that ran all the way through to Kumas. Slater is through here, and now Gelhardt takes over, sets it back, and they can't finish it again. It's an opportunity that was for Carl Joseph.
Well, they have had, throughout the game, they have had signs of goal.
They just
where
missed
it could
another
change
chance.
the nature of the game early on. In the end, they're well beaten, but they haven't stopped. I think that's credit to this Hull City side. You can see in them that in the Championship they could really cause problems to teams.
Dispossessed. Drama. Again, looking for a searching ball through the box. It was a really good delivery by Drama.
Oh, they might just go one goal. Well, they might score consolation goal there because they're playing now.
It's Ryan Giles digging one out to the far post, headed down by Egan. Makes a deflection, and that's the end of the game.
That's it, it's over.
Well, Liam Brasilia didn't win any of his FA Cup
They
games.
finished really strong.
Of the Tigers, but it's 2-2 at Chelsea. On his return to the MKM, the Blues boss has steered
He's come to his Old Tough and smashed them 4-0.
From Pedro Neto and a goal from Esteban. A commanding victory for Chelsea. It's another Chelsea win against Hull. The 9th time they've knocked them out of the FA
Fair
Cup.
play to Liam, bro. Taking his opportunity at Chelsea. Winning games, that's all he can do.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy at the start for Chelsea, but just the
4-0
quality
there. Very good
through.
result for
I
Chelsea.
think he has been the star player tonight, but it just gave players that might not always get minutes some minutes, and they were professional, they were thorough, they kept a clean sheet. Job done for Chelsea.
Well, Hull will concentrate on finishing off their impressive season to date. Chelsea might see this as their best route to silverware. Full time at the MKM. It's finished Hull City 0, Chelsea 4.
Stan, thank you very much. Joe Cole, Karen Carney back alongside me to talk through this display for Chelsea. Look, they needed to get it done. Did I say Joe Cole? Yeah. There's definitely something wrong with me tonight, but Joe Hart, why don't you talk me through, because we were just discussing back there that this isn't an easy place to come, especially on a night like this, but Chelsea really just became fluid in that match, especially in the second half.
Do you know what? Liam Racine will be absolutely delighted with his team tonight. It's not easy to come up here on a Friday night. They had a tough game against Leeds on Tuesday. Their attitude, their application was absolutely
Why is the ball?
spot on. They kept knocking on the door, and eventually their class
He's looking for a
showed.
hat-trick ball.
Goals, managed to blood a few young lads. A top night for Chelsea.
He's got a hat-trick. He can't find the ball. He can't find the ball.
I think Lucy said it in comms. There was a lot of opportunities which we highlighted in the first 20 minutes.
This man's got a hat-trick. They're looking for the ball,
obviously got his hat-trick. So, and then when you can bring on the likes of Enzo, who can see out the game, bringing that classiness again, just to keep the team over the edge and keep the clean sheet. Brilliant.
What will Liam Rosenior think of that performance?
Honestly, I think he'll be delighted. He definitely had a pop at them on Tuesday night, letting it, it was sloppy, letting the 2 goals in. And the performance, they had such a good performance that they just couldn't finish it off. But tonight, yeah, there was a few chances at the end of the hole, but I think ultimately a really professional performance. They'll be delighted.
Tell me about Hull's performance and whether or not you feel like that scoreline was representative of their performance out there.
But it wasn't a great, obviously, result for them today. It's difficult given they're up against Chelsea in Premier League status, but I wouldn't think Hull fans
Love
will
what
be
he's
really
hugging all his players.
the Championship at the
The
moment.
kids, the young
That's
kids.
probably where their main
You know.
priority is, and how they had a couple of players out injured today. Ollie McBurney, their main player, and a few other changes, but overall, they move on and they'll be focused on the Championship now.
Obviously, Pedro would take home the match ball, but Liam Delap was brilliant and played his part in a couple of those goals as well.
Yeah, some really good assists for him. Obviously, he'll want the goals, no getting away from it. He'd love to have a hat-trick of goals. He had that chance in the first half where he thought he'd got it over the line. But I think it just emphasises a real good team effort from Chelsea all round, and he'll be really pleased with his output.
Absolutely. Why don't we hear from him? Because you can see Danny Jameson just setting up there with Liam Delap. So why don't we head over now and get his reaction?
Liam, congratulations. These games are never easy, coming to a lower league team and the snow's coming in. How pleased are you to make it through tonight?
Yeah, of course, we came here with only one task, and, that was to win, and we showed that, we could battle and also play some good football, so yeah, we're all happy.
Talk about good football, but Pedro Neto, a hat-trick. You said 2 or 3 of them. I mean, how impressed were you with him?
Yeah, he's an incredible player. He's playing in a position that he's not even used to today, but, he just showed his quality. He's an incredible player, he's really good, and I'm happy for him.
Before we get on to the other positives, I have to ask, what on earth happened in the first half where you thought you'd score, but
I swear on my life, I almost ran off. I thought it went in, and then obviously, I was waiting for the ref to blow his whistle. Obviously, I should have just put it in a second time, but yeah, crazy.
I mean, we had a look, it's like 2 inches, if that, from going over the line.
Yeah, I don't know. It's silly from me, but I thought it went in.
And the goal from the corner as well, did that go all the way? Is that planned? We saw your manager turn around and point to Bernardo Cueva, the set-piece coach. Was that a plan for Neto to go front post and try and get it all the way in?
Yeah, we have our ways of, applying pressure on the corners, and, we've been so close so many times, and, it's always nice to see one going.
And look, after the midweek draw with Leeds, your manager said that you need to stop being sloppy and get a 90-minute performance in. Do you think you got close to that today?
Yeah, of course. I think there's obviously some moments in the game where we do come off it a little bit, but, we just need to keep building under Liam, and, hopefully we can, put them collective performances together and start getting more points.
Oh, well tonight.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there we go. Brilliant performance from Chelsea. Brilliant performance from him as well. We'll get loads more reaction shortly. Meanwhile, in the Winter Olympics, Matt Weston, we said we were going to keep you updated with this. He won gold.
Right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna call it a night. I need to update my feed here. And thanks for the subs, by the way. I've seen a few people subscribe tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that.